Welcome to the Inner Blueprint Podcast. I'm Sean Foyer, the Universal Mindset Disruptor. With over 20 years of turning blueprints into thriving home improvement businesses, I've learned that the strongest foundations start in your mind. Whether you're building a business or your own success, we're here to reshape how you think and face daily life and always remind you to enjoy the ride. On today's episode of Inner Blueprint, we are honored to welcome an extraordinary guest whose story will ignite your belief in truly what's possible. From financial analyst to corporate attorney, health coach to LA County Sheriff, our guest has lived a life of bold pivots driven by a mission far greater than any title, helping others overcome fear and play to win in every area of life. Born into overwhelming odds and told by doctors she wouldn't survive, she defied every expectation. And when life challenged her again with a stage 4 cancer diagnosis and a 1-year prognosis, she chose something even more powerful than survival. She chose to live joy, purpose, and certainty in her vision for her life. Her journey, including, which I'm excited to hear these stories, manifesting 3 new cars with pure belief, is a living testament to the power of mindset, resilience, and conscious change. Get ready to be inspired by a true warrior of light who embodies what it means to live soul-led, fearlessly, and fully alive. And I'm so excited to welcome Christie Miller to our podcast.
So excited.
Thank you so much for being here. I got tired just listening to all of those things.
I know.
Well, it's tiring to you because you've lived it all, but to us, we're like, what's next? And then what? Then what happened? What else did she do? It's amazing.
Yes, and if you're listening, I just want you to listen to the energy in Christie's voice. But if you're watching, just look at this smile and look at this energy.
Yes.
You would never guess this person is facing any health challenge, and that was my first impression. Is I'm like, wait,
This
wait,
is the wrong
what?
person. This isn't who they were talking
this
about.
Isn't somebody.
I really was like, Sean, it's not her.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, it is. I was like, wait, what?
Yes. So welcome to the show. Where do we want to start?
Thank you. I am so absolutely happy to be here and tell my story. And I really just believe through every ounce of my being that the gift of cancer was given to me in order to step up and play a higher game and really show people that no matter what the obstacles are in their life, they can get through them and not only stand back up, but rise even higher. And, just knowing that this is all happening for me and not to me has allowed me to embrace this healing journey with the mindset of, when I go into every doctor's appointment, I want them to have to reread my chart and look at me like there's some complete disconnect.
Yep.
That is always my goal.
I'm sure you're probably like 100% on that right now. I mean, oh my gosh, right?
Well,
Yeah, pretty much.
And it's so true though, because I mean, even thinking about that, like Sean had to reread your bio a couple of times, right? Like I had, when we first met and it was pointed out to me, I was like, that's not her. It's got to be this other lady. It's not Christie.
Where's the sick person? I mean,
Yeah,
that's literally what the mind goes to is where's the sick person?
Yeah.
I don't see the sick person. She is well.
You already do that, not just with doctors, but with anyone that meets you. They're like, wait a minute, what? Like it does not, like you alter people's perception of reality. You do, Christie.
Exactly. And when I tell the story that doctors gave me a year to live, I usually will stand there and say, does this look dead to you? Because I am so much more alive and well today with stage 4 cancer than I was 3 years ago when I was so buried in workaholicism, achievement, go, full-blown masculine energy.
Yep.
And now I'm just like, oh, success can be fun. Mm-hmm. Life can be fun beyond belief. It can be so rewarding. And some of my greatest moments are just when I'm embracing the simplicity of life. Like this morning's sunrise was so gorgeous. And I started getting teary-eyed just because of the majesticness of each new day. And one of the things that I did about a year ago was, I'm all about smiley faces. They're all over my office. There's one right over my head, for people that are watching this. And I have them everywhere. And I bought a smiley face rug about, 2 feet diameter. And it's right where I step when I get out of bed.
Oh.
So every single morning, my first step in that day is standing on happiness.
I love it. I love
Everybody should go buy a smiley face rug now. That's a great idea.
Well, I think I just shared it in the last other episode we recorded, but a happy life is just a string of happy moments, and I can choose happy. And what a daily reminder to look down and say, I get to be alive. I'm happy. I'm healthy. I'm whole. I love that. I love that routine.
I love what you say there about happiness too. Like my first moment gets to be in happiness because I remember when I was a small girl, I didn't know what I wanted to be, right? I wanted to be everything, so I wouldn't say. So I would just answer everyone like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I'd say, I just want to be happy. Like, I just want to be happy. And that was programmed out of me, through, high school, college, the way life happens. But I remember telling people, I just want to be happy. And they were like, that's not a good goal. And I was like, yes, it is. I just want to be happy. And so I love that you bring awareness back to that because I think a lot of kids probably have a similar, goal in life. I want to be an astronaut, but like, if you want to be a bunch of things, everyone just wants to be happy. Nobody was like, I want to be unhappy. Like everybody wants to be happy. And so bringing awareness of that and light to that it's so simple, right?
Well, I think the fact that you don't have to chase things to find it, because a lot of people do want happiness, but they think they need the promotion or the new house or the new vehicle or the new relationship or whatever it is, looking for the happy from some external thing. And, again, your health challenge has brought you presence of, this is where it comes from. It comes from me. It comes from the sun. It comes from it's rising, it's setting.
Waking up today.
Absolutely. And happiness is a choice. And I remember almost a decade ago, I was coaching a client and I said, if you're not happy, it's because you're choosing not to be happy.
Yep.
And she got so mad. And then in our next coaching session, she's like, damn, you were right. You were absolutely right. And of course, this is absent any, mental disease or depression.
Yes.
But for the general public, happiness is a choice. Happiness is an inside job. And it's something that I choose every single day. And when the cancer diagnosis was handed to me, I made a pledge that win, lose, or draw, cancer will never steal my joy. And so I started going on a scavenger hunt for joy every single day. And, sometimes I find the joy as I crawl into bed at the end of a really challenging day.
Oh, yeah.
And the joy might be, this bed is made perfectly and it feels like a nice warm hug.
Yeah.
And so I want you to hit on that, Christie, because you said when I got the cancer diagnosis, I went on this, this search, right? People in life do that. They wait for something major to happen to go back to the simplest things, right? They wait to be fired or lose a loved one or get a diagnosis. Like we wait for these big things to really wake us up. And why do you think that is? And what is some advice now that you've been you're on the other side of that you have for people, right? Because we have people that get so caught up in the day to day. They're like, I don't have time to be happy. I don't know what joy is. Maybe one day I'll do that, but it's never going to happen.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I was a happy person. I'm exponentially happy. Like someone is putting happy juice through my veins every single day instead of chemo. We're going for happy juice. But I think what it is it takes an earthquake. It takes something to just knock our foundation loose, where we really start looking at those invisible cracks that are in our foundation or in our walls, because it's never the visible ones that hurt us. It's the invisible ones, the ones that are in our subconscious mind. And, I grew up with a workaholic dad, loved him dearly. He loved me dearly. He was a fabulous man. But my subconscious belief was success needs to be hard. You have to work hard to earn money. And so when the diagnosis came, it was such an opportunity for me to basically excavate the old foundation and ask myself, if I'm going to build a new life, what does this blueprint look like? Because I'm sitting in my home that I love, that we built from the ground up. We wouldn't have started building that without a blueprint, without a plan. And yet I think so many people go through life with no blueprint. They don't even have a sketch on a piece of paper of what they want their life to look like. And they're just floating. They're just like in the river, and they're just going downstream. And it takes an earthquake, it takes a jolt for many of us, even when we already have a great life, to just be like, whoa, now what?
How did I get here?
Well, I love that. And especially the tie into Inner Blueprint, right? I mean, the work we do is, module 1 in Inner Blueprint is what do you want? And helping people get out of the program pattern. I don't know, I'm just doing the best I can every day to really getting clear, crystal clear. What do I want? What do I really want? And then we can dive in.
Not what do I think I can have, but what do I really want?
Yeah. And obviously, we have a home improvement contractor base. Everyone understands blueprints. And like you said, Christy, you wouldn't build a house. You wouldn't remodel a kitchen. You wouldn't do any of these projects without a plan. And yet we go through the most important thing we have, this life, without sometimes a plan. And I love, and part of our work is helping people that don't have an earthquake yet, that don't have a challenge, find this, because yes, it's cool. Like you can have it. I mean, me and Caitlin both have had challenging life experiences that brought us to doing mindset work and this mission. And my hope is we can help more people find it. That's why we do this podcast. Is right now, if you're listening to us saying, well, I don't have a health challenge and I've never really
my life's good.
been where they're
I'm like
talking
Christy.
about.
I'm happy. I was happy before. It's
Well,
fun.
good.
Yeah.
Take this opportunity to listen to this inspiration and start doing something to be more intentional to make every day the happiest day you could possibly have.
Right. And I don't want anyone to be out there in the doom and gloom of, oh my gosh, I might get cancer. But let's look at what our environment is like. COVID hit, and 3 of my 4 food groups were sugar, alcohol, and fried food. And I'm not embarrassed to admit that, because when we can take 100% responsibility for our life and our actions, it empowers us to change. So I'm taking 100% responsibility for leaving the doors wide open with the lights on, enter here, for cancer or any other illness to come into my body. Yep. And if I did that, it also means that I have the power to close that door, to lock it, to put a deadbolt on it, to put a guard by it, and turn on the alarm so that I can heal and it doesn't come back. And what a beautiful thing as human beings that we just get to all of a sudden be driving down the highway and turn left. And I love what you were saying about in the Inner Blueprint, that the very first exercise is, what do you want? Because in our program, Unleashed, same thing. It's what do you want in all these different areas of your life. And that took me back to when we were building this house. I was just drawing all these things and listing out everything I wanted. Now, we live at the beach. So our lot, people are going to laugh at this, it's 30 by 90. And that's actually feet, not even yards. Okay? Well, you cannot put a 10,000 square foot home within 2-story building regulations on a lot that size. But when I was declaring what I wanted in my house, my initial brainstorm was not what will fit, what can I afford, what will get approved. It was, okay, I'm in the candy store. What do I want?
Yes.
And we have to allow ourselves the childlike curiosity to dream without the limiting beliefs, without the, well, where's that going to fit? Is it allowed according to code? In this case, society's code. Am I good enough? Do I have the skills? And that's what kills all dreams and goals. That's why so many dreams and goals end up in the cemetery instead of on our headstone.
Yeah.
They go unachieved.
Yeah. How did you do with that then? You forgot about limitations, everything you wanted in the house. Were you able to fit it in and make things work out?
It's pretty close.
Yeah.
We've been in here now since 2004. And so 20 years. And I was talking to our neighbor across the street who's getting ready to tear down their house completely and build a 4,000 square foot house right on the sand. And I was telling her, there's a couple little things I would do different, but really not much, and we're living in a house that I love within the constraints of the size. And so, yeah, we did it, but it was moving the piece here and, okay, if I want this, then I have to sacrifice this. Am I willing to do that? And it's much like when we're going after a goal in life. I mean, let's say you want to get stronger. Maybe you need to sacrifice scrolling on social media time and actually go work out.
Yeah,
everything.
Yes. I love it. I love it. I love the tie-in there. Now, you are a powerful manifester, right? Do you want to tell the story of your winning cars? Because it's one of my favorite stories you shared with me.
It's so inspiring, and it makes you question, like, I'm so excited about the story because it makes you question, like, what is reality and why can't I have everything that I think about? Like, we all know thoughts become things, so why not a car? So I can't wait. You got to share the story.
Right. Okay, so the first one was actually on a game show. And I wasn't looking at it. This was in college. I wasn't looking at it of I'm going to win a car. My whole intention was to break the bank. And that was the name of the show. And when you break the bank and the vault opens, you just get all this stuff. And one of the things was a car. But I had a convertible Rabbit. I was in college. I had my dream car. I didn't need a car or want a different car. So that one was me, like, just wanting to go on this game show and just break the bank open so that I would have no financial worries, my last year in college. But then where it really happened was fast forward to, 2016, 2017. And I was in a mentorship program or a business coaching container. And the coach was giving away a Porsche Cayenne. Brilliant marketing move. I'll give her that. And there were 700 eligible entrepreneurs for this contest. And it wasn't a raffle. There was three parts to it. It was business performance. And I wasn't going to even join because all the limiting beliefs, here come the cracks in my foundation. She doesn't know me. She'll pick her favorite. My business is new, blah, 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 blah. All these reasons.
Yeah.
And the day before you had to submit your intention to be in this contest before the 90-day performance began, I basically said, screw that, but it started with an F. Not only am I joining the contest, I am the Porsche winner. And I drove the Porsche. I went to the local dealership. I enrolled them in my win because the more energy we have behind our goals, scientifically, the better chance of it happening. So I test drove the car 3 times so that I knew exactly what it felt like to drive that Porsche. I bought a little Porsche Cayenne at the dealership, a Matchbox type thing that I carried around with me for like 5 months. I wrote 100 times a day, I am the Porsche winner. I saw it, I felt it, I believed it. I took massive action in my business. And then the ultimate level of certainty without logic, which is how I live my life, is I sold my car the day before they were announcing the winner.
Oh my gosh. Isn't that the one? Didn't your husband ask you, what are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing?
The car's gone? You had to make room to park it.
He came home and he said, "Where's your car?" And in my most precocious 3-year-old voice, I said, "I sold it." And he's like, "Why?" "I had to show the universe that there was room in the garage." And he just looks at me. He puts his head down as he's walking away, mumbling, "You could have parked it on the street."
And the winner is?
Christie Miller. That was car number 2.
Wow.
So crazy.
Wow.
So that I love that story too, because it's like I love how you said you live your life, right, with that certainty, like, of just, I'm going to get what I want, right? Like, why not? Why not me? Why would it have to go to someone else? Why not me?
Right. Somebody has to win. So why isn't it me?
Yeah.
and just live in that energy and with the belief that if not this, it will be something better, because like God, universe, spirit, whatever people want to use, whatever word feels good for them, always knows what is for our best. And so if that didn't happen, yes, I would have been disappointed. I carried this stupid little car around with me for 5 months. I wrote, I'm the Porsche winner 100 times a day, which took about 18 minutes each time. And would I have been disappointed? Yes. However, there were so many wins along the way. My business income increased by over 1,000% because I was focused on improvement and performance. So even if I didn't win the Porsche, I could have gone and bought one if I wanted it. But, up until the day before, I had a perfectly fine car. I didn't need a new car.
See, and I love that because so many people, and it's a law of attraction, it's manifestation at work, it's true belief at work. But so many people think the law of attraction is just like, I guess can just sit on my couch and go, I hope I win a Porsche. Like, that's not how it works, right? Like, you just laid out the steps, like everything you did. Massive action to make that happen. Like, you are leaving no room for doubt. And that's really where it comes into is, one, believing it's possible, claiming it, and getting to work to make sure it happens, right?
So, because if you look at law of attraction, the last 5 letters, or maybe it's 6, is action.
Yep.
Action, yes. 100%.
A-C-T-I, yeah, it's 6.
Yeah, I was
6
say,
letters
I
is
had a
action.
cheer. I had a cheer that was A-C-T-I-O-N.
Yeah. So even with my healing journey, I said no to chemo. I said no to radiation. I said no to immunotherapy, even though the doctors are saying, okay, you take that route, you're dead in a year. I just knew my intuition was screaming at me that wasn't my path. And I was originally all signed up for that because of the type of super aggressive, that's what they say about all cancer that was in my body. And so it's not about me just sitting here and just going, oh, I'm Christie Miller, I'm going to be healed.
Yeah.
No, that, my friends, would be stupid. I take massive action every single day. It's just not the conventional massive action. And I really do have, with this also, a certainty beyond logic that I'm going to be fine, that it's part of my story and not the end of it. No. And that allows me to live with peace and joy and light and love. And I'm at a happiness level that I've never been at before in my entire life.
Wow. That's amazing. And I want you to talk more about the lifestyle and what you're doing actively, but what about the third car? We got to finish the car story. Is there really one more?
The third car was an affiliate sales contest. And when they announced the contest, it was a Tesla. And you're either a Tesla girl or you're not. I can't keep my iPhone charged. There's no way I'm going to have an electric car. Unless there's a tow truck that comes with it. And so I'm just not a Tesla girl. So I wasn't even motivated by that at all. And as the contest was winding down, I kept trading first and second places in this affiliate contest with my really good friend, Molly. And the night before, I'm like, again, screw that with an F. And my neighbor across the street has a Tesla. I ran out there. I took a picture of me in front of the Tesla and came back and just that night wrote, I'm the Tesla winner 100 times. I'm like, maybe I can expedite this.
I love it.
And then that caused me to push a little bit harder to contact some people that might be interested in this product. And I won by one sale.
Oh, with
one
a 24-hour
sale.
thing. Well, that's it's a concept that I've heard so much is people think that to succeed, it takes time, right? Which it can, but really what it takes is alignment. And so the first time you won a car, it took you a little bit longer to get in alignment, but this time you just showed fuck time. Like, I'm going to get in alignment right now. I know what I need to do. I'm going to believe in this. I'm going to make this happen. Here we go. And you won. Like, I love that. That's the power of, that perspective change.
Yeah, absolutely. And when they announced the winner, my response was, can I have a check?
Yeah.
Did they give you
I really like the Porsche Cayenne. Can I have a check? And they wired me some money. It was great.
Oh my gosh.
That's amazing.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, and going
Yeah.
back and honestly, you've been forced to have this healthy lifestyle and some of the things you're doing. I know in the home improvement world, I have a lot of business owners that I work with that we work on the trifecta: money, health and wellness, and a relationship with self. And sometimes health and wellness takes a back burner. So, and as you mentioned, we live in a toxic world. The air we breathe, some of the water we drink, most of the foods that we would eat when we're in a hurry, they're filled with toxins, and that's all feeding ground for any kind of disease in the body. What are you doing in there? Can you share some health tips and tricks that you really have gotten into because you've been on such a mission to find your best version of yourself?
Sure. And I'll just, name some of them, not all of them. The first thing was dramatically changing my diet. I went from the standard American diet into whole foods, 95% raw vegan. I'm not vegan anymore, but that was where I went for about a year because a lot of experts were saying that was the way to go. Now imagine this is a girl that was having alcohol with ice cream and French fries, and to all of a sudden go this way. And it's been over 1,000 days since I've had alcohol, processed sugar, or fried foods.
Wow.
And I don't even see myself going back there. And don't get me wrong, I really liked alcohol. Like, that was fun. So I'm not this Pollyanna. If somebody could give me a hall pass and say, you can go to Sunday brunch, have fried chicken and waffles with extra crispy bacon and more mimosas than anyone will drink, and it will have zero effect on you and it won't break your record. Oh, honey, I'd be there today. But that could be the crack in my foundation. So while I normally don't believe in all or nothing, in this instance, I do. I went all in. So it was changing my diet. And then based on experts that were helping me as I've been progressing through this journey, not having my mind so set that I'm unwilling to listen to a different approach. I had a healer, I forget who the second person was, a shaman, a healer, a shaman, and then finally my doctor tell me I needed animal protein. And it took the third one. It took my doctor to convince me why animal protein was necessary for my body. And I'm like, okay. And oh my, that grass-fed, grass-finished burger that I made at home, hallelujah and amen.
Yeah, yep.
It was so good. I had a food orgasm with that first bite. And so obviously the eating, I want to say the biggest piece has been creating a new blueprint and restructuring my life. I love working. My office is on the third floor of our house. We're allowed to add a little bit of a third floor, even with the building requirements. And I love working, but I don't allow myself to come up here anymore, generally until 10 a.m. And before, I would jump out of bed in my PJs, be thinking about something work related, and I'm here, I'm up. And so it's really just structuring, like from 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. is basically Miller time. And
Miller time.
Miller time. And that's where I do all my Miller magic. I do coffee enemas. It's very good for cancer healing. I do my meditation or my journaling, my walk in nature, playing with Winnie, having some breakfast if I'm not intermittent fasting, and really just putting all my pieces together. Sometimes it's EWOT, which is exercise with oxygen therapy. I just got into that, bought the system for our home. I may go in the sauna, or I may just decide that I want to sit on the couch and look at the bay and read a book. And so it's all about really pouring this new foundation for me and for my life, and one that is unshakable, non-negotiable.
Yes.
I love it.
And it's such a beautiful way to live. Now, that does not mean I'm perfect. I am nowhere near perfect. I don't even believe in perfection. I think if you're going for perfect, there is no finish line. But I am perfectly imperfect in the way that I'm committed to my healing.
Wow, I love that.
I love that.
Well, and some of the things we talk about a lot, meditation, huge, right? Quiet the mind. Infrared sauna. I'm a big believer. I do a daily sauna practice, and it's to get rid of the toxicity. So all good stuff, all good pointers for listeners. I love it.
Yeah, I'm impressed that you do the sauna daily. Like I literally have to be the drill sergeant to get myself in there 2 to 3 times a week. Which is so interesting because I'm always cold and I don't like being cold, and yet I have this oven in my garage that I can just go in and get hot. It's like,
That's what motivates me is I am always cold and I get in there and I'm just like happy. Like it's like, in the summer when you go get in your hot car after you've been in an air conditioned building all day and it's like, there is nothing better than this feeling right now. So that's what gets me in.
Well, it's funny because I don't love the sauna. I'm addicted to it now, but I feel like besides the toxic stuff that's in my body, it helps me clear my mind. And if I'm really...
Because you can't think about anything else.
If I'm really struggling with something, I go in there and meditate in that heat, and it's so miserable. It's like maybe I'm a glutton for punishment, but it does just help you process it and get it not only out of your body, but out of your mind.
Absolutely. And that's one thing that does help me get in the sauna. So originally I would try and read a book in the sauna, God. A good book. But then I started thinking, okay, when the glue is heating up, is that toxic? Are my plastic glasses toxic if they get heated? So I'm like, okay, no more of that. But my sauna does have a speaker. So I'll either just play a guided meditation or listen to a podcast. And it is lovely because like I can't be scrolling. My phone's not in there. It's out on the shelf. And so it really is like, it's Miller time.
Yeah.
See, I love that you said that too, because I've recently stopped wearing anything in the sauna because I'm like, are these clothes, they have polyester or like they have toxic chemicals. If I'm getting this all hot, like, and this is on my body, this is defeating the purpose. So I've started doing that and just 100% cotton towels with like nothing on them because it's so true. It makes you start to think like, am I maximizing the effects of the sauna by making sure I'm setting myself up for success? And so, yeah, we listen to like a guided meditation or like the message of the day or a podcast or something like that, because at least you can listen to it and not be so worried about what's on your body or what's going into your body, for sure.
Exactly. Because I think that worrying then also makes us sick.
100% it does, because what you think about comes about. So there it is.
Yeah. And it's so interesting because I've said so many times that I grieve my ignorance. Like, I didn't know that most leggings have PFAS, forever chemicals. Now, I haven't switched them out yet.
Right? It's hard to let go of those. I know what ones you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. You do. We both own practically the whole store.
Yep.
But even stuff like, and this was all things I didn't know, like the detergent we were using.
Completely switched mine. I get it.
Hair care, skin care, like all of that. Toilet paper? What?
Yes.
You mean the thing that I'm wiping my private parts with multiple times a day is poisoning me?
Yep.
Oh, say it isn't so.
It's true. And it's like the softest ones are the worst for you. I mean, Sean and I got into it. I mean, we could do a whole episode on this, Christy, me and you. But Sean and I, the other day, he bought this lotion. I said, why did you buy this? Look at everything that's in it. And he's like, well, I just needed lotion. I said, this is why we have coconut oil. And he was like, coconut oil is greasy. I'm like, it's good for you.
Yeah, coconut oil. As soon as I open the coconut oil jar, Winnie, who is here by my side, my almost 10-year-old black lab, she just hears the specific frequency and sound of the cap when it hits the granite, and she comes running because she knows I'm going to let her lick my fingers.
There you go. I just let the dogs start doing that. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
So awesome.
That was good. Well, what else should we chat about?
I mean, Christy's just shared so many amazing nuggets. Such an inspiration. You're such a bright light for people to see. And I hope that more people get the opportunity to meet you, to hear you speak, because we've been blessed with that. And, even following you along on social media is so motivating. It's so inspiring. It's so, It's such a great welcome break. People say this about our social media too, but it's such a great welcome break from the bullshit you see on social media. Seeing yourself, I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. This is better. It really is. So how can people, like, if they want to follow along with your story, if they want to be, motivated by you, which I hope everybody does, like, how do they do that?
Yeah, so they can find me at Instagram. Currently, I'm Coach Christie Miller. I may be changing that handle, but it's Coach Christie Miller, and I really do my best to tell my story and also bring it from a mindset place. Like, it's really interesting. When the diagnosis came, I was a business coach for health coaches, and two of my clients said, "Watch, she's going to become a cancer coach." And it got back to me, and I'm like, no, I don't want to be a cancer coach. What I ended up doing was moving out of the business coaching and solely going into mindset coaching, which is where I started as a coach 10 years ago. I was a weight loss coach, but my tagline was, weight loss doesn't start in the kitchen or the gym, it begins in the mind.
Yep.
So I was a mindset coach that was teaching the skills that you need to develop in order to lose weight and keep it off. So I've come full circle back to the mindset coaching. And I also bring in parts of my cancer story, because before cancer, and particularly before stage 4, you could look at my life and say, oh, well, it's easy for her to be happy.
Yeah.
She went to USC, she grew up at the beach. She got married young. She's been married for 35 years for a guy that she still likes and loves. She has a cute Labrador. Like, you could just go on and on about all the reasons why it's easy for Christie Miller to be happy, but I can't be happy. So, cancer hits and it's devastating. Major 2-day meltdown, might have even been close into the 3rd day, because all I could think of was my husband lost his identical twin to cancer at the same time Mark had cancer, and he lost him at 59. And here it is, doctors telling me that I could be gone in a year. And at the time I was 57. And I was like, Mark cannot lose me at 59. This would be so unfair. And I know my mom told me enough times, life isn't fair. She's right. It's not fair. The universe has my back, and it's way beyond fair. The goodness, the blessings that I get. But I just kept thinking, like, this can't be my path. I can't end here. So when the brain cancer showed up, which officially put me into stage 4, I mean, this just sounds so sick. I'm like, well, now it's an even better comeback story. Because, oh yeah, she had breast cancer, but my friend had breast cancer and she's fine. And that was 20 years ago. Okay.
Well, and again, for listeners, I don't know if we made that clear, Christy. So you had breast cancer how long ago?
The breast cancer was diagnosed in June of 2022. And then in October of 2023, 1 hour before I went live with my first business launch with 3,000 people, first business launch since the diagnosis, because I pulled back on the business, I get a call an hour before going live on Facebook. You have a brain tumor. I'm like, oh, crud. Quick meltdown, quick makeup retouch, and then Emmy award winning performance. I'm still waiting for my Oscar to be delivered. I don't know what's taking them so long. I mean, I can see the Hollywood sign practically. Give me my darn Oscar. But then it was, okay, 2 to 3 day meltdown. And I remember Mark and I were sitting on the beach and we were both crying hysterically because I had been doing so well. I felt so great. I kind of thought like it was behind us. We had already won. And it's like getting to the finish line in a marathon and being told, no, it's not 26.2. You signed up for the ultra and it's actually 100 miles. And I remember the wind just being out of my sail. And I just kept saying, well, you said the word, Caitlin, so I'm going to say it. Fuck a duck, fuck a duck, fuck a duck. Like, and bawling on the beach. And I've never even heard that saying. I don't know if it is a saying. And I kept saying it and we're both crying. And then all of a sudden it was as if there was a clap from heaven. And it was like, game on, bitches. Okay, what's our plan? Okay, we've felt this, we've released this. I'm not about not ever feeling the fears. That's unhealthy.
Yeah.
And then we're like, okay, game on. I'm going to go find the best surgeon. I don't care if I fly all over the world. I don't care if we have to sell our house and spend the last dollar on my treatment. I'm willing to do that because I could be happy in a cardboard box. And so we just went down this path. And from the very beginning, I visualized a follow-up scan of being perfectly healthy, perfectly happy. And what was amazing is the surgery that I had, it's not meant to eliminate the tumor. It's meant to slow down the growth.
Okay.
And eventually, like 6 months, 9 months, a year later, 7 years later, it may eventually completely go away. And at my 4-month scan, and I wish I could have been in the doctor's office to see him double check the scan and double check, everything and have the right patient. It was gone. I remember him saying, I have my notes, no remnants, no necrosis, which is brain death, which is expected. No remnants. This is atypical. This is not normal. And I remember it almost being anticlimactic because that's what I was visualizing. Like 2 days after we got the report that I had the brain tumor, I doctored up a report that was dated 9 months later. And I emailed it to my husband, your future scan results. And he's like, wait, what? He was confused. He's like, I don't understand. You have a scan from June of 2024. What is this? I'm like, oh, visualization, baby. Remember the Porsche?
Yeah. Yeah.
And sure enough, it happened. And my other doctor, who was a radiation oncologist, she's now on the healing side. She's not in conventional medicine anymore. She declared it a radical remission miracle.
Wow.
She's like, we don't see this. We just don't see this. And so I have other spots now. There's a new spot in the breast. There's some spots in the lungs. And I'm like, I got this. Certainty beyond logic. Like I'm gonna be fine.
Yep.
And I think that's the attitude that we need to be brave enough to create. And I've had people say to me, well, what if you're wrong? And I'm like, well, then I'd be dead. Like, I mean, I'd be off to the next adventure.
Yeah.
Now I'm not making fun of death. Like
No. But your success rate is 100% so far. So what? You're not wrong up to this point.
And we're all going to die.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing in an Audible book, death is the universe's way of acknowledging a completed purpose. I am nowhere close to completing my purpose.
Yep.
Like nowhere close. In fact, maybe I'll tiptoe and slow down a little bit to buy me another 100 years. But
I don't think you will.
It just brought me so much comfort. And, here I am, 60 years old, living my best life, soul-led, purpose-driven. And that is all thanks to the gift of cancer. And if I ever want to polarize an audience on social media, I just did it yesterday.
I saw that, Christie. Like, that's not my take on it. I was like, oh my gosh, they do not understand Christie Miller.
Yeah. I mean, I get so much hate email when I say that cancer is a gift because people are like, you don't understand. I've lost my mom. I've lost my son. I'm like, oh, I get it. And I have compassion. We lost Mark's identical twin. Mark has had cancer. Mark lost a nut. I lost half a breast. My mom died of cancer. Like, I get the devastation that cancer leaves in its wake. But if you're not brave enough to see the gifts that come with it, even, my mom's cancer journey, we did not get along. We were like this, just always banging heads. That diagnosis allowed us to reconcile.
Wow.
And resolve some things. And my diagnosis has allowed me to see her in a different light, forgive her, acknowledge that she did the best she could with the tools she had at the time.
Yep.
And that she meant well. And what a beautiful gift. If that was the only thing that came out of my cancer. Oh, I said my cancer. It's not mine. It's just here on borrowed time.
Yes.
But if that was the only thing that came out of the gift, what a beautiful life-changing gift to live this life no longer angry or disappointed in my deceased mom. Like, wow.
Yep.
Well,
So many people never get to that point, ever.
Christie, at the highest
Yeah.
level, you are just a walking testimony to everything that we talk about in our program, everything you teach. And you can do it with a car. You can do it with getting a tumor to go away. You can do it with taking a challenging situation. And I love, and you said this, and we practice this with everybody we work with, but it's always happening for you, not to you.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for being just such an inspirational living testament that life is always happening for us. And, you know, you can call this a gift. I mean, and it triggers and challenges people, but you mean it.
But it triggers the people that don't consider it a gift.
Yeah.
So you do, and it's very inspiring.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you probably get this, Christy, because even with us, just with some of our lifestyle and our relationship, people are like, "That's fake. That's not real." And I'm sure you have that. Like, there's no way she's this happy. It's like, no, I've spent time with you in person.
Yes, she is.
You are this happy. You are this bright of energy. So.
You were that happy and positive when you were doing like a 72-hour fast. You didn't have anything. And I was like, she is still full of energy, so happy.
Listeners, we met her. She hadn't had food in 3 days, was only drinking water, watching us all eat. And she was showing up like she is right now, giggling, laughing, and it seemed like not a worry in the world. I can't.
It's just
Oh, yeah. Again, because that was a choice. That was something that I chose to do for my health. You know, I completed a 30-day water fast last November, shortly after I saw you. And was I this bubbly and happy? No, because I had no energy. I had nothing but water and some vegetable broth to keep my electrolytes for 30 days.
Yep.
You know, 40 calories a day of electrolytes, basically. And so did I have this energetic bubbliness? No, but I had the same level of happiness.
Yep.
And it's because I have poured a foundation that is unshakable, that is anti-fragile. And even when it gets messy in the middle, I know that foundation isn't going to shift.
Wow. Well, Christy, thank you so much for being on the podcast. Thank you for sharing your powerful story, the inspiration that you are.
Sharing your energy, sharing your light. Like,
Yes.
it's such a gift. You are such a gift. And I mean, you are always present because you are such a present. Like, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Aw, thank you to the two of you for coming into my life, for showing me what's possible in different areas. And I think that's what's so important about your podcast, about the work that you do, the work that I do. We all have different challenges in life. And if we can get to the point where we look at every challenge, every obstacle as a gift. I mean, even think about it. Divorce is a gift.
Yeah.
Now, it's not going to feel like it, but look at the two of you. You went through divorce, and then you found each other. And what a beautiful union. And the two of you are such a powerful force that was not possible individually.
Nope.
Like 1 + 1 with you guys equals 10. And so those hard times are such a gift. And it's about just shifting the mindset to look for it. And I'll say a lot of times the gift is wrapped in 27 layers of smelly shit.
Yes.
It is there. You just got to get into the shit and unwrap it.
100%.
And it's worth it. It's absolutely, you're worth it, listeners. You go through the shit, get to the happy, and choose happy every day. Oh, so good.
Thank you so much for letting me just tell my story and spread joy.
Oh, thank you, Christy.
Thank you. And listeners, if you like this episode, please give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and share it.
You're going to
share it
want
with
to.
somebody. You know, this is a powerful message. Christy's a powerful, beautiful woman that is inspiring us all. So help us get the word out there. It's our free message to the world. And as always, enjoy the ride. It's a good one. Welcome to the Inner Blueprint Podcast. I'm Sean Foyer, the Universal Mindset Disruptor. With over 20 years of turning blueprints into thriving home improvement businesses, I've learned that the strongest foundations start in your mind. Whether you're building a business or your own success, we're here to reshape how you think and face daily life and always remind you to enjoy the ride.